Hello everyone, my name is Krishan Kant Singhal and today we are going to talk about Cloud Function. So before studying Google Cloud Function, let's understand what options we have from the Google Code Cloud. So when we are talking about Cloud Function, there are various options available. So we have infrastructure as a service, container as a service, platform as a service, and then nowadays we have function as a service and we have software as a service. So when we are talking about infrastructure as a service, we talk about Amazon EC2 instance, Azure VM, Google Compute Engine, and many others. And then we have container as a service where Google Container Engine, Azure Container Service, and AWS Container Services are there. And then platform as a service, AWS Beanstalk, Azure App, Google App Engine are the some example of platform as a service. Then we have function as a service, which we are which we are talking, saying it as a serverless. So if you talk about AWS, we have AWS Lambda. If we talk about Azure, we have Azure function, and for Google, we have the Google Cloud function. So in today talk, we will be talking about Google Cloud function. So first, let's understand what is the function as a service. So function as a service is basically you are writing a function, and you can call that function using HTTP or some whatever other events, and that function executes for that point of time and then it ends. If you are writing an application writing an application or a function on a cloud, so you have to have some virtual machine. You will be paying for that for whole time, but in a function as a service you need not to worry about infrastructure, scalability, and other things. You just write a function and you call it, it executes that point of time, and then it finishes. Google Cloud Function. So Google Cloud Function is the offering from the Google for the Cloud Function. Okay. So Cloud Function is a serverless platform for building event-based microservices. It's a scalable pay-as-you-go function as a service to run your code with zero server management from the Google. So if you see this diagram, so a serverless platform for building event-based microservices. It's a great fit for event-oriented architecture, and currently it is supporting three kind of triggers: cloud storage, cloud PubSub, and direct HTTP calls. And when we are talking about Google Cloud functions, we can divide them into two kind of functions. One is the HTTP functions and another one is background function. When we say HTTP function or synchronous invocation over HTTP or HTTPS, so basically what we are talking about is we are calling cloud function using a URL, and URL in a browser or from the code or whatever, and then we wait for the response. So that is synchronous invocation over HTTPS. Background functions basically kind of functions which are triggered from another cloud services or cloud events, for like adding of file to a cloud storage can trigger a background function. A event to a cloud PubSub can trigger a background function. Okay, so basically any HTTP request, object change notification pops up. All this can are the event providers which trigger the Google Cloud Function. Okay, so when we are talking about Google Cloud Function, why we want to use Cloud Function? First is like pay as you go, and you call the function, it executes, and then it finishes. So you need not to pay for the whole time for having a machine. That is the one advantage. And then it can be used in various variety of use cases. It can Google Cloud Function can be used for microservices and webhook, for data ingestion API, callback from the external services. Then it can be used as a bots, and for action you can create messaging bots, Google Assistant actions, you can do home automation, And Google Cloud Function can be used for lightweight ETL as well. And for the example, it can be used for image processing, video processing, indexing, entity extractions, content sanitization. So there are a lot of various use cases of Google Cloud Function which we can use. Okay, so basically, these Google Cloud Functions can be triggered from the various providers. So we call them event providers, and some of the event provider example is HTTP, invoke functionality directly from via HTTP request. Another another provider example is cloud storage, Cloud PubSub, Firebase DB, Stake Driver Logging, Cloud Firestore, Google Compute Engine, and BigQuery. So many of them are in beta or alpha, and some are in the production. Okay, so let's start with the Google Cloud Function. So first thing which you have to do is you have to open Google Cloud Platform, and here you can search for Cloud Function. So you will get the Cloud Function. Click on that. So once you will see this screen, so there is an option for creating a function. So you have to create a function. Click on that. So you have to click on this create function button. Once you click that, it will open a screen where we can create our function. So the first name, so we have to provide the name to our function. So let's provide like learning code cloud with KK. So this is the method name, and then we can assign memory. So we have various options like 128 MB, 256, 512, 1 GB, and 2 GB. So as you will select the memory type, accordingly you will be charged and your CPU will be assigned. Okay, and then we have a trigger section. So if you see this combo, we have various trigger. So if you have the trigger port as HTTP, it means like you can call this cloud function directly. If you are having cloud PubSub, it so cloud PubSub is a messaging queue platform for the Google. So any messaging is comes to Google is posted, then this function will be called. And then we have the cloud storage. Cloud storage is like AWS. Cloud storage is equivalent of S3 in AWS. It is used to store a lot of data files and those kind of thing. Then we have the cloud Firestore, which is like mobile backend for your mobile database and backend for your mobile application. And then we have any other options. So at this point of time I am going to select HTTP. So if you see, this is the URL for calling this function, and then we have allow unauthenticated invocation. Tick this if you are creating a public API or website. And then we have the source code. So here we have the four options: inline editor, zip upload, zip from cloud storage, and cloud source repository. So inline, if you say inline editor, so you will get a editor to write your program here. And if you select zip upload, you can upload a zip file. If you zip from the cloud storage, so Google provide a so zip from the cloud storage. So basically, as I told, cloud storage is equivalent of S3. It is used to store files, so we can store our storage source as well there. And then we have the source cloud source repository. So cloud source repository basically is a Git kind of functionality which has been provided by Google. After that, we have the runtime. So when we are talking about the runtime, so we have the Node.js various runtime provided by Google. As of now, Google is not supporting much languages. It's currently support Go, Node.js, Python, and there is a beta support for Java 11. Okay, so we are selecting Node.js 10 as a runtime. Okay, and then because I have selected cloud source repository here, it's showing branch tag, but I will be using inline editor as of now. So this is my inline editor. So now when we talk about cloud function, if you see, we have this export hello world request response. So this is a simple hello world method. So here we are exporting a hello world method. Okay, and because it's a HTTP trigger, we have the request and response object here, and this is express.js request object. Okay, so you can check express.js request object, and accordingly you can access it. So let message request query dot message request dot body dot message or hello world. So basically, if you are sending message in your body for this request, it will print that. Otherwise, or if you are sending query, it will print that, or by default it will print the hello world. And then we have the function to execute. So here, like at this point of time, I have only one method, export hello world, which we are using, but we can have multiple export method as well, right? Function to execute section. And after that, we have environment variable, networking, timeout, and more. These are kind of some advanced settings. So basically, like region is something where when you will call this function, this instance will run, and it will execute the and the cloud function will execute here. Then we have the timeout. You can define how much time this function can execute. So currently Google provide once timeout of 1 second to 1 second to 540. So if your application is taking more than that, then it will not take. So maximum, if you see, timeout must be an integer between 1 and 540, and maximum function instance, you can define like at a time how many maximum function instance can be. If we are not defining, then it will be unlimited. And which service account you want to use, App Engine default service account or whatever you have created. Okay, ingress setting means the traffic which is coming, allow internal traffic only. So those kind of options are there, and then if we want to add any environment variable, we can add it here. Okay, and then we can click on the create button, and it will create a method. It will create a cloud function. Okay, so once you create a cloud function, it will be appearing in your screen like this. So you can go inside this, and then you can see like in general you have a monitoring here. So here you can see like invocation, like within 1 hour, 6 hour, 12 hours, and then we have execution time matrices as well, like how much time it took executing that particular function, how much memory uses, and how many active instances and all those stuff at a point of time. Okay, then we have the trigger section where for this particular one, the trigger type is the cloud storage. Then we have the source, then we have the permission sections. Cloud function also requires some permission to access other services, which we can define using IAM. And then we have the testing. Okay, so this is the testing section here, like we can send the message and test this function. And we have the option for viewing log as well. So if you will click on the view logs, it will open the log section where we can see how it has run. And it so this is much today for cloud function. I hope you guys have understood what is the cloud function and how we can use cloud console for creating the cloud function, and it is really a powerful tool, and we should try it. And it's help us to save it help an organization to save a lot of money. Okay, thank you very much for watching this video, and please subscribe and make this channel popular so that other people also can get good knowledge. Thank you very much.